What's going on, Kick Nation? Kick Weekly with Tim Wheaton here. Like the Chilean miners rising from the earth, I have returned. That's an old joke. Thank you very much. That's a banger. Great week of fights we had with Glory 98, and also one championship. Both were really great events, so let's break them down, and then we'll talk a little bit about Tenshin Nasukawa, year-end awards, all that sort of stuff. I think it'll be a little bit of a shorter podcast this week, and hey, that's okay. If you want to complain about it, please comment down below and tell me why I'm stupid and why we should do longer stuff. Let's get into it. The main event, Uku Jurjendal and Jamal Ben Saddik. Jamal Ben Saddik, after a long layoff, like I was saying, he had 2 fights in 7 years, and after years away, suspensions, injuries, surgeries, all that stuff, he faced the Estonian wrecking ball, Uku Jurjendal. This was a high-stakes heavyweight matchup. Both men are competing in the heavyweight tournament, going into the event at least. Both men feared the other man's knockout power because they were very hesitant to throw any strikes. They put up the stats from round 2 to round 3, and there's only about 30 strikes thrown. Not 30 strikes landed overall, thrown. At the end of the fight, we're looking at less than 100 were thrown, and only about 50 strikes total were landed. So it was a slower paced fight for 2 rounds, but then Jamal Ben Saddik landed a kick on the arm of Uku Jurjendal, shattering it, and Uku Jurjendal could not raise his arm. It was dangling by his side, and with his other arm, he was still trying to land knockout punches. And I think he was just too active for the referee to try to check anything. The referee must have known, all of us watching knew exactly what was going on. But if you just stay active, I guess the referee won't do anything. Don't worry about it. Hey, that's cool. He just kept going for the knockout strike. And then Jamal Ben Saddik was able to land a head kick knockout at the last second of the fight. It was on the side where he had broken his arm. Essentially, he was defenseless. But hey, that's a great highlight. It was a really cool moment. It was a really cool little fight. Great to see that knockout happen. Now, Uku Jurjendal, with that arm break, he's definitely not competing at Glory 99 in the Heavyweight Grand Prix. Jamal Ben Saddik will still be competing in the Heavyweight Grand Prix. He is not injured and has his pairings set up already. Oh, I forgot about that. We got the pairings. Let me bring that up. That'll be real fun. Oh, so much news going on this week. All right, that is queued up for you folks. We also had the incredibly talented pound-for-pound top-ranked fighter Chico Kwasi defend his welterweight title against Theodor Hrostov, and it was a very dominant performance. Theodor could really not get anything started, whether he was looking to enter on flurries, enter with the jab, enter on leg kicks, any aggressive motion. Chico Kwasi completely shut him down. He had very stiff jabs, very good 1-2s, very good kicks, but he essentially completely stopped his opponent. It was a total shutout. It was a 5-round dominant performance. It was a masterclass from Chico Kwasi, who was a very good champion. And I'm excited to see what's going on in the welterweight division, because there were some movements on this card that we may be looking at the next few opponents for Chico Kwasi, down the card here. But yeah, it was a great performance from him. Jem Cesaris was able to defeat Mori Chroma. Both were undefeated in Glory going in and undefeated in Infusion. This was a very close fight and causes a lot of arguments about how we judge fights. This was essentially, damage versus volume. One person was landing more knees and outside leg kicks. One person was landing punches to the body and punches to the head. And if you say that Mori Chroma won, fine. I'm not going to fight with you. I think that there's absolutely an argument to make here. And it was a split decision with 5 judges ringside. Jem Cesaris got the win in the end, I think largely due to body language. While he was backing up, Mori Chroma was tripping a little bit because he was throwing with so much power and throwing so many kicks, things like that he ended up tripping over himself a few times or tripping into the ropes. Body language kind of matters. So yeah, Jem Cesaris got the win. Very impressive performance. And this was in the very competitive light heavyweight division. I think he's probably up for a title shot next. Again, you got Sergey Masloboyev up there, so I'm not entirely sure what they're doing with the division, but I mean, Jem Cesaris is the guy that you got to put in there. He's so exciting, so highly skilled, defensively sound. He's good at throwing counters, and to shut down Mori Kroma in this way, Mori Kroma is incredibly talented. He is a must-see fighter, and yeah, Jem Cesaris, absolutely incredible performance here. You had Michael Boapea making his debut at light heavyweight, and then he wants to go back down to middleweight, so he just went up, beat the crap out of Ibrahim El Benoui. And it's not close. This was like his most dominant performance. Michael Boapea had the best win of his career, landing like, how many leg kicks? 30 leg kicks in 9 minutes, and got a leg kick TKO against Ibrahim El Benoui. And then was like, yeah, whatever, I'll go back down to middleweight. Incredible performance. Michael Boapea, he was so young when he made his Glory debut, and he just showed potential. He was also working full time in another job. So over the past few years, he's been growing, maturing, but he's also been able to quit his job and now train full time. And you can see the difference. He is improving leaps and bounds in between fights. He is aggressive. He is a fun knockout striker. And this one was knockout via leg kicks in a very dominant win. Amazing work, Michael Boapea. I would love to see him as a great addition to the light heavyweight division, but going down to middleweight, fine. Do both. That's great. And then we had, this was a fight. This was quite a fight. Musad Selimovic was able to get a win over Ilyas Hamouchi. Absolutely hilarious fight. So Ilyas Hamouchi comes out aggressive, and he is throwing down. He is throwing heavy leather, and he is clearly winning. He is clearly better. Anyway, he scores a knockdown in the first round. And he's like, hey, it's over. This is a walk-off knockout. He's not getting up. He throws his mouth guard, starts celebrating, stands up on the ropes. And the referee was like, no, we're doing a 10 count. He got up. We're doing a 10 count, but I can't start the 10 count until you go to your corner. Bro, go to your corner. So he waited like almost a full minute, I would say, before going to the neutral corner, got a 10 count, and then Masoud is fine. Ilyas Hamouchi rushes out again to try to finish him off, but he doesn't have his mouth guard. It's in the audience. And I think it was Remy Bonyaski was actually the one who gave the mouth guard back. Hilarious. Love it. Amazing fight. And then second round, the two are throwing down. They're trading punches. It is quite a flurry. It is competitive. Again, Ilyas Hamouchi is clearly the better fighter between these two. Gets another knockdown. Same thing happens. He goes to the wrong corner again. I think he took out his mouth guard, but he didn't throw it in the audience that time. I can't quite remember. Then they start throwing down again. They start trading. Masoud Selimovic does a spinning back fist and knocks out Ilyas Hamouchi. And this fight was only about 4.5 minutes long, but I swear it took like 10 minutes to finish because of how much drama was going on. The crowd was so mad that Ilyas Hamouchi had lost that they started throwing stuff in the ring. They were throwing bottles. They were booing. Ilyas Hamouchi and his corner actually looked pretty mad, and they were complaining to the CEO of Glory because while Musad was down, they were saying, like, go to the neutral corner so I can start the 10 count. When Hamouchi went down, they said the 10 count was too fast. What? Yeah, I don't know. It might have been. It might have been, actually. I don't really know. But they're complaining. But then, yeah, peace happened when Ilyas Hamouchi raised the hand of Masoud Selimovic. Ton of fun. I would watch these two guys fight again. It was a great, great fight. Welterweight division, this is what I was talking about. Hamicha making his comeback against Clemente Mendez of Spain. Hamicha has been in a comeback for longer than he was ranked. Like, his whole career has been on the comeback. Like, he had a massive, good run in Glory. And then it was just a matter of what his potential is. And then he's out due to injuries for like years and would take one fight here and there. So hopefully we get to see him before 2027, because with his name value, he's clearly a star for Glory. With his name value, I do think they want to fast track him to a title shot as fast as possible and get in there against Chico Kwasi. Is he one win away? I mean, he had a warm up against Clemente here, who wasn't ranked. So does he probably needs one ranked win, but also if they just threw him in there, it's fine. But yeah, TKO via leg kicks, but it was a very, very dominant performance. I mean, Hamicha is the thing. This is why we always talk about him as like a future great, is that he's clearly amazing. And we just want to see him actively compete. Sorry, dropped my phone. We just want to see him actively compete. Fighting every 2 years is just not enough for us because he's an incredible fighter. Andre Santos and Chris One had a really great back and forth fight in the featherweight division. Just awesome. The featherweight division is absolutely awesome. Holy crap. The featherweight division is absolutely awesome. And now I can talk about that this week, Glory and Rise announced that later this year, they're doing a 24-man tournament. Glory is putting up 12 fighters and Rise is putting up 12 fighters. So they did an 8-man tournament not long ago and it was amazing. And now they're going to do a 24-man tournament upcoming later this year. I can't wait for it. That is going to be the best tournament in sports. I know that they're doing a 32-man heavyweight tournament, but the featherweight division is so freaking good. The other featherweight fight on the card, you had Dennis Wosik against Matam Schonard. This fight was absolutely incredible. Balls to the wall kind of fight. Loved every second of this fight. And this is why the featherweights are amazing, right? I was just saying how Uku Jurjendal and Jamal Ben Saddik threw 100 strikes. Dennis Wosik and Matam Schonard combined threw nearly 500 strikes in the same amount of time. They threw nearly 500 strikes in the same amount of time. What an insanely good fight this was. Imagine a 24-man tournament of these guys. But yeah, anyway, Glory 98 was a really good event. Had a lot of fun watching it. Jamal Ben Saddik managed to get the knockout in the end, which he needed. Absolutely needed to make a statement, especially after the first 2 rounds where not a ton was happening. Don Snow was able to get his knockout win, so now he will face Rico Verhoeven next. Great. Robin Kirik did lose to Mehdi 8 Hajad. So, lots of good welterweight stuff going on. And then the opener of the night was Antonio Kranovic, was able to defeat Sofian Al-Hamouchi by decision. Let's turn the page now. Pairings. So you have, this is for the heavyweight Grand Prix coming up, starting at Glory 99. It'll be spread over about 5 events and 32 heavyweights, 1 winner. Yona Yansu will take on Sihad Kepanek. Actually, I'll just put it on screen so you can read it. But Ahmed Krinic will take on Aline Nechita. Uku Jurjendal, maybe the backup, will face Nicholas Wamba. Cookie Tariq Osaro will face Benjamin Adegbuyi. Bahram Rajab Zeta will face Brian Deweese. Jamal Ben Saddik will face Christian Risti. Raid Opacic, really excited for this one, will face Big Sexy Nico Horta. Oh, what a good fight that's going to be. Marat Egun will face Abdullah Nasipov. Sofian Laiduni will face Oleg Premachav. Yuri Farkas will face Iraj Azipur. Great fight. Anis Bouzid will face Nathan Cook. Luigi Gashi will face Piotr Romakevich. Colin George will face Miroslav Vuvovic. I'm so sorry. I can't wait for this to go down so I can learn the names that I don't know how to say. I am so excited to learn. Nidal Bakiri will face Azden Gashi. Sina Karimian will face Tomaz Moshny. And Nabil Khahab will face Milos. Those are awesome fights. I cannot wait for this. April 5th, Glory 99, last heavyweight standing tournament. It's going to be a banger. 32 fighters, 16 fights, 1 night. Come on. This is going to be absolutely incredible. This is coming up later this year. If you are in the Rotterdam area, you got to go check it out. It's going to be a ton of fun. 171 went down last week, and going in, I said Jonathan Haggerty is going to knock out Wei Rui. And I was partially right in that it wasn't going to be a very competitive fight. But he didn't get a knockout. Wei Rui was trying to get some offense off and just struggled to get his game going. The length advantage from Jonathan Haggerty, he just was able to throw jabs, combinations, teeps from distance and keep Wei Rui off of him pretty much the entire fight. From distance, he's just eating teeps and punches. Up close, he was eating knees in the clinch and that sort of thing. It wasn't an overly competitive fight. And the two started talking trash to each other in there because Wei Rui was just trying to take him out of his game a bit. But yeah, really dominant performance here from Jonathan Haggerty. Just an incredible win in his kickboxing career because it wasn't particularly close, beating a K1 champion here. Wei Rui has also been pound for pound ranked for several years. So absolutely incredible win. Massive congratulations to Jonathan Haggerty, just showing why he is such a star in striking. But yeah, can't wait for whatever his next fight might be, whether it's in Muay Thai or kickboxing. It's going to be absolutely awesome. We also had Jake Peacock beat up Shinji Suzuki. Jake Peacock is a fighter with Notable, from my hometown, from Calgary. He's from the UK and then moved to Calgary. I'm from Calgary, moved to the UK. It's adorable that we did that, He has just half an arm, so he's missing forearm down. So he still has an elbow that he can strike with, and he can clinch with it, and he can strike with it. And he definitely knows how to use that very effectively. But this was a dominant performance from Jake Peacock. We need to see more of him in one championship. We need to see this man active. He's in the competitive bantamweight Muay Thai division. Man, we need to see him back. This guy's absolutely awesome. Cannot wait to see Jake Peacock back. Okay, not a ton going on next week. So let's take a look at awards. And because earlier today, Beyond Kickboxing has released their awards. So let's take a look at the 2024 awards. Beyond Kickboxing had chosen for their Fighter of the Year's Pech Panmarong. And great pick. Love it. I mean, I wrote the article. So it's a great article. And the reason is he did win the 2024 Featherweight Grand Prix and Rise, essentially coming off of losses in his last couple of bouts to come back and beat 3 people in one night and basically did it untouched in maybe one of the most competitive divisions in kickboxing. In an all-star Grand Prix like this is a massive deal. We spoke to Adrian Fairtex as well, his manager, and he said he fractured his ankle last year and we weren't sure where he was going to be, but now training at the Muay Thai Academy in Vancouver. Just absolutely incredible turnaround that he is now better than he was previously. And that's saying quite a bit. Pech also said massive thank you for the award. He's absolutely honored and he continuously fights for his fan. He wanted to show the best version of himself, to show everyone in the stadium my skills and ability, to show everyone around me on the biggest stage in the world that I can do it. And I was successful. I am very happy. So shout out from Pech for Fighter of the Year and his trainer, Adrian Fairtex. The other options, we were all pretty unanimous that it was going to be Donegi Abina because he won the light heavyweight championship. This looked awesome all year long, but then he lost his title or lost to the champion. And that made it a lot harder. Rico Verhoeven was also very much in talks as Fighter of the Year. The problem is you almost don't want to give him more gold, give him more prizes. There's a great argument to be made that Rico Verhoeven definitely deserved it. But you just don't want to give him more gold. And Pech deserved it more. Combat Press, we chose Superlek because we thought of not kickboxing alone, but kickboxing combined with Muay Thai. Kind of a striking of the year. So the reason we picked Superlek, he had a hugely dominant win over Takeru in kickboxing. And that was massive. A dominant win. And then he knocked out Jonathan Haggerty in about 60 seconds in Muay Thai. Incredible year. So Thai dominance in this year. You got Pech for kickboxing, and then for kickboxing and Muay Thai combined, you got Superlek. Amazing year. Amazing year. Fight of the Year on Combat Press, we gave it to Rico Verhoeven versus Levi Rigters, their second bout, not the first one. Knockout of the Year was Miguel Trinidad against Chad Collins. That was earlier in this year. Chad Collins was just coming off of his win against Pech. So he was looked at as kind of the golden boy. He just dethroned Pech over 5 rounds. Miguel Trinidad was unranked in Glory, unranked in one championship. And then he shows up and knocks out the number 1 ranked fighter. And that sets the stage for the rest of the year. Featherweight is a mess because of this. So they have to set up a Grand Prix, which there was the 8-man Grand Prix, and then there was now going to be the 24-man Grand Prix. This is all set up because Miguel Trinidad smashed Chad Collins in 60 seconds. And then they rematched, and he did it again. Beyond Kickboxing picked Kyoki Miyazaki as their female fighter of the year. She's been around for quite a few years with very dominant wins and has never really got her top prize. She beat Miyu Sugawara earlier this year, and that is a great win. Essentially one very good win, but it's also a look back at past years. It's almost like getting your Lifetime Achievement Award in a way, because she deserves it for her past work as much as she deserved it for her work this year. So she had one very good win. Combat Press went to Jackie Bunton, who defeated Anissa Mexon over 5 rounds. So essentially one very good win against another very good win. Tessa DeCom was also in talks as well. She looked very dominant in her victory, but she did have a major size advantage. So maybe this year, Tessa DeCom will get it. She is unbeaten so far this year. But the awards are out. Combat Press and Beyond Kickboxing both have their awards out, so you can read them, compare them, see who was right, see who was wrong. If you want to argue about it, hey, shout it out in the comments. I am ready for it. I think, and Tenshin Nasukawa, had another really dominant performance in boxing. Tenshin Nasukawa, you'll remember him from being one of the biggest kickboxing stars of the past decade. And now he's going to be fighting a fellow former K1 champion. I forget his name now, for a boxing world title. And apparently these two actually fought when they were both amateurs. When I think Tenshin was 15 years old and the other gentleman was 12 years old. So they kickboxed already. Both of them were K1 champion or Rise champion. Now they both switched to professional boxing, and now their paths are going to cross in boxing. How awesome is that? I don't know. It's so cool to see. Tenshin Nasukawa, one of the most important kickboxers of the past decade, with his dominant run, with how incredible he is talent-wise and who he beat. Unbeaten. He is absolutely one of the all-time greats and a generationally important fighter. A prodigy and a phenom is not doing him enough service for how good he is. But now he turns to boxing, unbeaten in boxing as well, about to fight for a title, probably a few months down the line. Goodness me, what can't he do? Tenshin is so cool. All right, that is Kick Weekly. Like I said, it was going to be a quick one coming in at you folks. Shout out any questions that you have below, because I think next week is a little bit slow. So folks, appreciate your time. My name is Tim Wheaton. Appreciate it.